And so people would cuss me out like a dog. Black Friday actually had a knife pulled out on me. Couldn't believe it was happening. I guess I was just in the moment, like, assessing the situation. I was like, this is not happening right now. Yeah, somebody called 911 one day because there was a goat on their back porch. This is a high priority situation. This is very important that we know if he's breathing or not.
Tennessee roll call. Hey, turn it up, y'all. Hey, from the hills to the hall. Tennessee roll call.
Who is Jacob Hill, and how in the world did he get started on wanting to do this?
Yeah, so I was a kid who started at Walmart. It all started at Walmart when I was 17 years old. I started as a cashier there, and I saw the loss prevention crew walking around and catching people stealing every day, and I'm like, wow, that's awesome, And then I saw police were showing up and apprehending them and taking them to jail. It was just so cool. So I got with the loss prevention manager. Her name's Angie. And I was like, I want to do this. And she looked at me. I'm a 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid at that point. And I was like, I really want to do this. And she's like, do you even have can you be mean to people, basically? And I'm like, well, yeah, I can be mean to people, I can be mean to people. She's like, do you have a backbone? I'm like, yes. I said, if not, I'm going to get one. This is awesome. I'm determined to do this. So
it all starts out at Walmart.
Yes, it all starts at Walmart with me. Yes, so I did loss prevention for approximately 6 years. I got that backbone, and then I'm like, making friends with y'all and other people at Tillman Police Department. I was like, I want to, I want to be out here in the field with y'all. I want to do something.
Right.
And so then I tried to do, went down the path of being a police officer, and then some things didn't work out there, but that's okay. And then Jessica, actually, she was like, why don't you be a dispatcher? You would love that.
Which Jessica?
Jessica Taylor.
Jessica
Taylor did,
oh,
yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, she's an investigator with Telehoma.
Yes. So she made a phone call to dispatch one day, a random day, and she was like, hey, can you email me an application to my email? So I want to print it off. I'll have somebody that was interested in, being a dispatcher. Uh-huh. So I was like, cool. So I filled out my application, took it up the next day, and I got a call. It was a couple of days later, actually, at Coffee County 911, and set up for an interview. Went for my interview, and that was December of 2022. And I got called the next day after my interview and got the job offer, so I accepted it. And then I went part-time at Walmart because I still loved Walmart. I still loved catching shoplifters and stuff. But then I did full-time at Coffee County 911. So I did 2 jobs, but 911 was my priority.
Yeah.
And then I started out on third shift 11 to 7, and then I would get off at dispatch, and I would go work at Walmart from 7 to 11, or 7:30 to 11:30, and that's where the history started right there, and so it's been history since.
Let's go back to Walmart for a second. Okay, you say you had to grow a backbone. I say dealing with customers at a register, you'd have to grow a little bit of a backbone.
Right.
I mean, sure that there some not nice people that come through from time to time.
Not at all.
Can you remember maybe a bad customer that came in?
So I don't know if this is a big huge situation I always run into. So I was I was younger than 18, so I couldn't scan alcohol, and that made a lot of people mad because they'd come through my register.
Why does it matter who scans the alcohol as long as they get it?
I know, right? Exactly. But that's Walmart policies. But I was 17 at the time, and I was scanning the groceries, and I always put the alcohol at the end. Well, people would get upset because I had to wait for a customer service manager or something like that to come up there and scan it and check their ID and stuff because I was underage.
Right.
Then they would get mad. Well, then Walmart policy actually has where if there's 2 people that or if you're with somebody that has alcohol, 2 people you both have to check your ID. Mm-hmm. And so people would cuss me out like a dog. They would cuss me out so bad because they would get upset, they didn't understand why. And I'm like, this is just Walmart policy,
But who cares?
Exactly.
I mean, it doesn't matter if it's you or a 50-year-old man. You're still going to get your beer.
Exactly.
Just hang on.
Exactly. It's just policy. Just hang tight. It's just work with me here. So that's where And
you're 17,
I'm
18?
17, 18, or I was 17 at the time. Yeah. Yeah. So people would get mad at me. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm just 17 trying to make money,
So how old were you when you decided to go into loss prevention?
18.
18. So you wouldn't have registered long?
No, I was not.
Okay. And then you decided to get into loss prevention, and just working with you, it was kind of amazing. It was amazing how y'all did what you did,
Yes.
being able to keep track of people. Can you give us kind of an idea without giving any secrets away
Yeah.
of how you did of how you catch a shoplifter?
Right. So I would like basically basically a big huge game of hide and go seek. And so basically you would walk around, you look for suspicious activity. There was key things that you look for. I will give a little secret, but it's like if a lot of people do this, but it's just based off behavior. But people, if there's a big huge like purse or bag in the front part of the buggy, people would place like items that are like known to be stolen from Walmart.
So like a purse or something?
Like a big huge purse or even like a little like duffel bag. Like people do that. And so they'd stick it right there, and then they have this thing where we call it the shoplifter lean. So they're gonna lean over that buggy and they're gonna, be secretive about it and conceal it into the bag. That's what happens.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, so you would look for the shoplifter lean and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was
and
different behavior we'd look for sure.
And then, I mean, when did you know, okay, this person is definitely, you actually see it go into the bag?
For sure. Yeah, you cannot make a stop without seeing that concealment at all. That's Walmart's
So you don't
policy.
Stop strictly on suspicion. You saw
have
it.
You have to make sure you have all four corners squared away.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite amazing. Any big thing that happened there, like anybody that you ever had to, deal with that was probably got you a little scared or a little worried?
Black Friday, I actually had a knife pulled out on me outside the garden center.
Kidding.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So me and Angie were actually, it was this young couple that went to the automotives and stole like the LED lights that go in the vehicle. I guess like the different color LED lights you can put. And we went out garden center and we approached them and identify ourselves that we're with Walmart security, and they looked at us and was like, "Get away from me!" And about that time, he pulled a knife out of his pocket, and we're like, "Whoa, okay, that's fine. You can." At that point, my safety's first.
Oh, absolutely.
So we just let him go and make a police report and went from there.
Did he ever get caught?
Honestly, I'm not sure if he got caught or not.
We'll have to look.
We'll have to look at that.
We'll have to look at that and see if he actually got. So, what was so important to him that what was it that he was stealing some lights?
Yeah, some LED lights that like go underneath the seats in the car.
About how much would that be?
Probably like $30, if that.
So, yeah, I hope they caught him.
Yes.
What went through your mind?
I'm like, I just backed up. I'm like, whoa, this is, I couldn't believe it was happening. I guess I was just in the moment, assessing the situation. I was like, this is not happening right now.
You're pulling a knife on me for a $30.
Literally. What the heck, man,
Yeah. I can't imagine. He couldn't have been in his right mind.
No. No, not at all.
How did Angie react to that?
She's really good at her job. Really, Angie's really good. Like
knowing Angie, I can have an idea of how she would react to that. And
she was like, "You take it, buddy. You take it." She's like, "You're going to get a warrant after your arrest." And she hangs in there. She does.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And she's a good one. She's a really good one.
So at some point, now, how long were you in loss prevention at Walmart?
So it was 2018 to 2024. So approximately 6 years or so. Yeah.
20. So, okay, but there was a point that you went to dispatch during that time.
Right.
So,
yeah, so
from 2018 to
full time December of 2022 is when I
went to dispatch.
Yeah, December 2022 is when I went to dispatch, but then I had dropped down to part time and would only work a couple days a week at Walmart. So full time it was from, I guess you could say, let's do math. What is it? I guess it'd be about 5-6 years. I don't.
Well, you wore a couple of hats during that time.
I
so
did.
you was Walmart loss prevention, and you were also dispatch. You said you started out on the night shift.
Yes.
What kind of training did you have to get?
So it was honestly, I walked in there, with the open mind. I had no idea what it'd even be like to be a dispatcher. I did some research on like TikTok and like YouTube videos, so I thought it was cool. But then I get in there, and the first couple of days you do like computer work, and you watch videos, do a bunch of training that way of like, how to handle like callers, how to handle different situations when it comes to medical calls, police calls, or even fire calls. And you have this thing, it's called like telecommunicator CPR certification. So basically, like I do like this big huge training online, and it like gives me the certification to do CPR. I give CPR instructions over the phone. And then meanwhile, we also are all CPR certified up there at dispatch as well. And then I would sit with a trainer somebody who is a certified training dispatcher, and would sit with them, and they would teach me everything, like the language, how police officers speak on the radio, how to multitask. What we call is a split ear. So basically, like I can be on the phone with a caller, or even some 911 caller, officer, anything like that, and I can have a conversation with somebody on the radio as well. So say you would never know, but there's times where I'm on the phone taking a call, and you're giving me a driver license number, and that's what we call a split ear. So they train you for that, like trying to get that. It's pretty neat.
How do you train for split ear? I mean,
It's-
I've definitely got the one track. I mean, I can't imagine talking on the radio and then like talking on the phone also. I mean, I'm one or the other.
Yeah, no, and there are some points now to this day that like I will tell a unit stand by in public service, and I feel bad for doing that, but it's a high priority situation,
Well,
So I'm
especially
like,
911.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
But there are times where I tell my caller, I'm like, stand by, my officers keying up on the radio real quick. I need to get their information.
Tell me a little bit about, so during your training, did you know that you was going to be able to grasp it? Did it intimidate you? Or, I mean, at what point was you like, okay, I'm ready to do this and I'm moving forward with it?
So in my training, I was very intimidated. So I see these other dispatchers that's been there for a while, and they're just sitting there, just doing the thing. I'm like, wow, like I want to be like them, So I went in there with and determine. Wow, I cannot talk.
No, go for it.
I was like determined to go in there and like I want to do this. I want to be like them one day, So I just soak everything in. I was a sponge and just soaked everything in, and I just did it.
Anyways, as you've progressed along, I mean, do you got any like real good dispatch stories that you would like to share with us without saying any names?
Yeah. So somebody called 911 one day because there was a goat on their back porch. A goat. Yes, a goat. I think it was like New Year's Eve a couple years ago too.
How did the goat get on the back porch?
You see, I don't know. I never got the end of that story. I don't know what happened.
What was the caller wanting somebody to come get
Somebody come get the goat off the back door.
Is that
on the
going
back
to
porch?
Is that fire or police?
I dispatch police out there. Public safety. So I was like,
We appreciate that.
yeah.
Let's dissect dispatch for a second, because I don't think a lot of people, when people think of first responders, a lot of people will say first responders, police, fire, EMS,
Yes.
and I think it's probably because you see police in police cars, you see fire in fire trucks, and you see paramedics and ambulances. You don't see dispatchers, but dispatchers are the very first.
Right.
Police are not going to get to you. Ambulance is not going to get to you. Firefighters are not going to get to you without you first contacting the dispatcher. So how do you, that's got to be a weight on you, because people are, if you mess up at your job, if you are not on your game every day, you could be sending somebody somewhere else. You could be the reason. How do you deal with the stress of that?
So I like, my biggest motto is cover all four corners. So when I first get a caller, my first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to confirm that address a couple times. We have a pinging program. When you call 911, we get a ping. But sometimes it doesn't work. So in that situation, that's kind of stressful when we don't get with their address. My main thing is getting all the information I can. So when I'm on a call, I paint a picture. I look at that map and I look at the way the house is kind of set up. I see what's around the house and stuff like that. I want to paint a picture for y'all, for the responders that are in the field at this point, and get the information that I can so that y'all know what y'all are walking into. Because the scariest situation is when I can't pick that up. I mean, there's been calls, high priority calls that we've had, especially in the last couple of months, that we didn't have all the information, and so y'all, that stresses me out more than anything. When y'all go to the call when y'all go to the call in the field and don't know what's going on, so that's a lot of stress. You're right, it is. But at that point, I know that I did what I can do. That's all I could do.
But how do you deal with the stress of it? Like, how do you get, you have to definitely debrief a little bit
Right.
during that time.
There are calls like, we don't get closure. All we get is a back 10-8 report on file or report on file, warrants obtained and served, or back 10-8 advice given. We get that a lot. Thankfully, I have a good rapport with the responders here. Not to brag, but I do. And I can hit them up and be like, hey, I need closure on this call because it's really bothering me, And everybody, all my friends and all the responders are great about that. We're a big, huge family here. And I really like that a lot because I can just call and they tell me, what's happened and stuff. And so that helps out a lot.
Definitely takes a special person to be a dispatcher. I don't think anybody could do that job. You've got people that are calling you in the worst moments
Yes.
of their life. They're obviously not going to be calling you saying, okay, this is happening to me right now. My address is this is exactly what's going on. And you have to paint that picture now for the responders. And I can't, how, I guess maybe what I would like for you to do is kind of walk me through maybe like, let's go through a CPR in
Okay.
progress, because now as you say you're CPR certified, but you're not there
Right.
to put your hands on them. You're not there to evaluate them. You don't. The person is calling you. I guess most of them don't have any medical training. Don't know
Right.
what a pulse. How to check a pulse or anything like that. Walk me through that. How if I'm calling you and I'm not a responder whatsoever, and I've got a loved one over here on the side, and they're unresponsive, and I'm screaming and yelling. Walk me through this.
Okay. So my main priority in this situation is I'm going to stay calm as possible for
Right.
that caller. I'm going to get the address of what's going on. They're freaking out, like you said. So they're going to say, my husband or my wife is not breathing. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to confirm that address, and I'm going to say, okay, we're going to check for a pulse. What I need you to do is put the patient on a flat surface on the floor.
You get resistance.
Yes, there's a lot of times. So I can't get them. I'm like, ma'am or sir, this is a high priority situation. This is very important that we know if he's breathing or not. Our responders are getting dispatched at this time. I'm reassuring them that help is already dispatched. But right now, seconds matter. So let's go ahead and get that patient on the floor, and we're going to check for a pulse.
I'm assuming you're not going to tell somebody to do chest compressions unless you can be pretty sure that they need
Oh, right,
them,
right.
correct? So how are you able to get the information from this frantic caller? Okay, now it's time to move on to start the CPR. How are you going to get that information?
So at this point, this point in the call, I have the patient on a flat surface. So I'm going to ask and basically, get on their level. Okay, I need you to tell me if their chest is rising or falling. That's better than I need you to put your finger, on a person that's certified and knows what they're doing. Put your finger or your hand on their wrist and see if you can feel a pulse, or on their neck.
You're actually using the language rising and falling.
Yes, rising or falling. Do you see their chest, moving up or down?
Yeah.
Or can you stick your finger underneath their nose and can you see if you can feel any air coming out of their nose? And at that point, that's usually my two main that I use.
And they scream, I don't know.
Yes, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, this is very important that we if he's not breathing and if you want to start CPR, this is very important that you tell me if you feel his chest rising or falling, or if you can feel air coming out of their nose.
Okay, so no, there's no air coming out of his nose, chest not rising or falling.
Okay.
What do I need to do?
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start CPR, because at that point, you're giving me information that determines in my training that the patient's possibly not breathing, or that is not breathing. So at that point, I'm going to tell you you're going to kneel down. Well, before you kneel down, go ahead and get that front door unlocked for the responders, because we're about to start CPR and you don't need to stop. Officers are going to, and first responders are just going to come
Didn't
inside.
even think about that. We got to get inside.
Yes, exactly.
So it ain't going to help us having to, hey.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay. So they unlock the door. Now we're going to go chest compressions.
Yes.
Tell us about how are you going to explain it to me?
Okay, so at this point, I'm going to say kneel down, and now you're going to put the phone on speakerphone, and you're going to put that phone next to you. You're going to kneel down, and then you're going to go approximately inch to half an inch below the breast area, right there, and you're going to put one fist over the other fist, and we're going to start CPR. And I'll just walk them through it. We're going to do 30 compressions, and then we're going to check for a pulse again. And we have really good responders that have really fast response time. So it's not. I probably can do 2 to 3 sets, and officers are already on scene taking over before EMS and fire get there.
Well, that's awesome.
Yes.
Do you have anybody refuse?
You'd be surprised, Rocky. There's a lot of people that do refuse to do CPR because they're so scared, and or the patient might be overweight that they can't get that patient to a
Right.
stable place where we can do CPR.
So how would you? Okay, I'm too scared to do CPR. I can't do this. I cannot do this CPR. What are you going to tell me?
I want to say, okay, we have responders already dispatched out there to the area, but if you don't want to start CPR, seconds do matter. We just I can walk you through CPR if you don't know how to do it, if that's what you're scared of. But it's important that we get that patient to start breathing or something like that. I'm a very reassuring person. I try to imagine I'm on scene, so I'm going to talk to somebody on their level when they're scared like that and persuade them into doing CPR. I guess it's kind of like a psychology thing,
Yeah.
like talking to somebody in that situation.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, again, I have to go back and say, not everybody is fit for this position. Can't be.
People call 911 on their worst days, and knowing that and my biggest personality trait is I'm a people pleaser. I know that's a bad personality trait to have and stuff like that, but I'm a people pleaser. I want to please everybody. So my thing is I'm on the phone with these people on their worst day, getting them help that's going to make their day better. And that's what keeps me going, It's helping somebody, in their worst day. It's pretty neat to sit back and just, I did that,
Well, it's you're not helping somebody. We'll go back to Walmart. You're not helping somebody at the cashier. You're not helping somebody take groceries out to their car. This is life
Yeah, exactly.
and death
Exactly.
issues that you were dealing with. There are some calls, I have to imagine with you, that you have to be so emotionally involved.
Mm-hmm.
Can you walk me through something like that, if you can? Like a situation that really affects you to where you're going to have to take a moment, and so it may even maybe have a little debriefing or something. Do you care to talk about how you do with that?
Yeah, so we hear a lot of things in our ear, the screaming, the yelling. Domestic assault gets the best of me. That's the one that gets me, especially when you hear, you can hear the physically fighting going on. And I'm sure you can hear my voice when I'm on the radio sometimes. I get high strung sometimes. I ain't gonna lie, I do. Because it's seconds count, And so when there's a female or even a male that's sitting here in my ear yelling and screaming, and you can hear the fighting going on, I'm like, wow, and especially when there's guns or there's other weapons involved. Domestic violence is scary. So when I take that call and I hear y'all on scene and y'all are, I have one resisting, like that, my adrenaline is going, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
There's times where I'm gonna have to go outside and I'm just gonna have to just get some fresh air. I'm gonna have to, I need a moment.
Mm-hmm.
That happens.
Right.
And I do work with a great team up there, and we're everybody's hot, man. We sit there and hype each other up for each call. There's a high priority situation. Are you okay? We're gonna check on each other. Do you need a moment? If so, go outside. It's perfectly fine. Or do you want to talk about it? We're like a huge family, and I really love that about where I work at too, because we all get along pretty well. Like I said, we're a huge family, and so we're always there for each other, and that helps a lot in these high priority situations too. Not to bring that Pacific call up, but we had a bad call up, a couple months ago, and seeing everybody come together, as a community in the first responder field, that I get chills just thinking about it, because that was just awesome. We count on each other. We go home to our families, and they don't know what we experience.
Mm-hmm.
But having the people, in our first responder family, it just helped out a lot. Getting over that situation.
Right. Let's so you said you're Coffee County
Yes.
dispatch. How many agencies do you dispatch for?
We dispatch for 3 police departments, 2 city police departments, 1 county police department. We dispatch for 2 city fire departments, 5 volunteer fire departments. We dispatch for Coffee County Rescue Squad. We assist, with air medical, life flight, air evac 44, Life Force. So we're setting those transports up. Oh, I forgot. I'm so sorry. Coffee County EMS as well. I almost forgot the EMS.
Can't forget
You
EMS.
cannot. No, they're good people. They're good people. I'm so sorry, but yes, Coffee County EMS is we deal with them too.
So how many agencies is that? I mean,
So-
it's like I heard about 10.
10 or 11,
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah.
How do you keep up with all that? I mean, you've gotten more. Okay, you're talking about CPR. You're talking about domestics. The CPR in progress is not going to kindly wait for the domestic to be over with.
Right.
The domestic is not going to kindly wait for the house fire to be over with. How do we separate this?
So in the dispatch center, we have 4 people working normally on a regular shift. So it's kind of organized in agency. So we have fire, EMS, and 911. Then we'll have Tullahoma. That's just on the same side of the room. On the other side of the room, it's Manchester and Coffee County. They back each other up. So my partner can be on a 911 call, and I'm sitting Tullahoma, but I'm going to back them up, and I'm going to dispatch a fire, EMS. If it's a high priority situation, I'm listening to that call with my partner while they're getting the information, and I'm going ahead and I'm going to relay that information to the responders.
Not a dull moment.
No, never, never. Never.
I mean, do you get a chance to have breaks or anything?
Yeah,
like
there's
that?
times we do, but I get told I'm under the dark cloud. I like to go into work and say, we're going to have a quiet day today.
Oh,
you know?
it's a wonder you ain't been shot.
Yes. No, it's
Why in the world would you use the Q word? So, do you want to go in a little bit to the police career, or do you want to?
So Rocky, I'll be honest with you. I did go into the police field for approximately 8 months, and I absolutely loved it. But my thing is I'm very compassionate about 911, and the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And I have mad respect for all the officers. I have mad respect for being in that person interaction with people. But I found that I'm more passionate about sitting behind the computer screens and being the first contact and relaying that information to
Right.
the responders that are being dispatched.
Well, that nothing wrong with that. Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't, as a first responder, I would not want. I'm not any. I don't want EMS. I would not want to do what EMS does. So just because I'm one way doesn't mean that you don't have to be other way. So that's
Exactly.
perfectly fine. It's a good thing you tried it out.
I did.
I mean, it was good that you had that opportunity to try, but it was also good that you realized ahead of time that, okay, well, dispatch is for me.
Exactly.
Would you ever want to branch out? I mean, like, is dispatching? Are we going to see 60-year-old Jacob Hill in dispatching?
They're honestly in dispatch. When you think of dispatching, you think it's just dispatchers dispatching for calls and dispatching for, taking the calls and all that stuff. But there's honestly more to 911 than people think that there is. You have different roles in the dispatch world. I mean, you have admin positions. I mean, director positions. You have the assistant director. You have NCIC crew, and that's or the NCIC team that works with TBI, and I'm actually on that team, and I get to work with TBI, and I think it's so cool. And so that's my goal one day is to work for Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. That's my goal one day. Working the CJIS division, so the criminal justice, like the NCIC division.
Wow.
I think NCIC is so cool, and there's so many things that you can do in NCIC, and it helps responders and
Right. For everybody out there, what is NCIC?
it's the National Crime Database. So anybody that has a driver license, plates, it gets entered at the DMV, gets entered to NCIC, and it's what the FBI and the state level investigation bureaus use for the driver license records, plate records. If somebody has a warrant, it gets put into that.
Do all warrants get put into NCIC or just the major ones?
Here, I think it was last year, all warrants get put into NCIC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and that's nationwide.
Not nationwide. I know I couldn't speak for other agencies, but I know for us, all our warrants get put in there. And a lot of surrounding agencies and a lot of your bigger agencies, every warrant, they have their own department for NCIC, which I think is awesome. And they just focus on nothing but, entering your order protections, your ex partes, your stolen vehicles, stolen boats, license plates, everything gets entered in there, and it's just great. So I fell in love with the NCIC part of it, and that would be a great career advancement that I would love to do. Would be working for the TBI, working in that division.
Man, you still got some. You still got some time.
Yeah.
You're going there.
Tennessee roll call. Hey, turn it